All right, race morning. We are at our first stop, which may be the most important stop. Dunkin' Donuts, if you're watching this, please sponsor me. So this one's a little bit out of order. Car is back in the garage. Events have happened, changes have happened. So we'll start the video with an event. We ran the Brandywine Motorsports event. It went fine, except started to notice an issue with the car. I'll talk more about that in a second, but let's start with the event, and then I'll get into where we are now. So here's me from the past. All right, we are at the second Brandywine Motorsports event of the year. Got the Camaro unloaded back there. Waiting on Mikey and Greg to show up. They changed the course around. Oops, I'm an idiot. I hit the wrong button. They changed the course around a little bit, so we're running some different directions. I'll show you that in just a sec. It's a little different than last time. This is where we used to paddock and we'd run down there, but this is all gonna be course today. So should be interesting for sure. Trailer gang lining up, get things sorted and get through tech. Car's teched, we're out here hanging out. We have folks running on course now. There we go, we got cars out on course now. Camaro is prepped. We're just charging it up real fast, so we got a full battery when it's time to run it. We'll be good to go. So as you can see, car back in the garage. The event went reasonably well. Car was fast. The setup is getting better and better on it. But I kept complaining about not being able to put power down. It was the same kind of issue I had at the DC tour. In DC, it made sense. It was cold, so maybe the slicks weren't grabbing. But like at this event, it shouldn't have been a problem. And then after a couple runs, I started to smell clutch. I was hopeful and thought it might be someone else. But it turns out it was my clutch. So ran to Larry's and we threw a clutch in it. I didn't take a lot of video because it's not very exciting, but here's the little bit I have. And at least shows you what the clutch looks like installed in the car. And you can see Larry's beautiful face. So here's a little chunk of that. I'll start right now. So I haven't done any intros or anything. I'm just filming you, Larry.
Why? Well, Paul, it looks like you got hairs.
What we got here? So, yeah.
You got this thing right here, this metal thing.
So we got Larry, we got Pat here.
It ain't the rear main seal, it's that cam plug thing up there.
You know, so we got the Camaro on the lift, we got the clutch out, like and the clutch is toast. But we can see that looks like the rear cam plug right there has been leaking. So we're going to clean everything up, put it back together. What else we can do, Larry?
We're going to clean up, and then and I think you said you're going to put some right stuff on it.
But
I'd rather
we're gonna replace the plug.
Let's just replace the plug.
Okay. We'll replace the plug.
No, we'll just replace the plug, and then that should take care of that leak because it's dripping down here and it's running off this lip, hitting the back of this.
It's flinging
flinging it.
And then just to show, here's the clutch that came out of it. It's toast. So, yeah, we're gonna put it all back together with a fresh clutch and stop that oil leak. All right, I'm gonna try to hold the camera and do this one-handed. So, here's the old clutch. I removed the nuts that were retaining this on there. Definitely some wear around these fingers, but not too bad. I should mention, this was a brand new clutch when it went in. It does not have a ton of events on it, so I'll talk about why that is in a minute. But flip it over, you can already see there's some real significant bluing. So this sucker was getting hot. I'm just gonna flip it over. You can already see, like, yeah, this thing was pretty toast. Like, look at all those edges. You just keep going. It doesn't get a whole lot better as we go through. But at least show you all the components of this clutch, how it goes together. This one's not too bad. This disc. This one, yeah, it's this gets pretty ugly as we go along. And this one, I mean, you can see how torn up all that friction surface is. So yeah, that's pretty trash right there. So this part, for those who haven't seen this kind of thing before, this bolts to the motor. This is where the crankshaft goes, and there is a flex plate for an automatic transmission that goes behind this. So the flex plate is what engages the starter, and then this is basically the flywheel. So it's pretty tiny. I mean, see how it goes together? All those discs stack on top of each other, and then it works like a regular clutch. But this one doesn't work too well when it's that toasty. So we threw a used clutch in the car, but what we did do is we adjusted it properly. So I think when we put this in, we did not adjust it properly. So you got to set up your shims correctly. You have to get the angle of the clutch fork correct, which we didn't even bother to do last time. So yeah, this is on me for being stupid, for rushing, slapping a clutch in and not doing the proper work. So now, new clutch is in. I haven't put the trans tunnel back in, but the clutch is there. The fork, which, you can kind of see it. It's the red thing right there. That's now adjusted properly. So hopefully, even though this is a used clutch, it'll last a little bit. Ram, who's the clutch manufacturer, they make another clutch that's a little bit bigger. I think it's a 7 1/4 triple disc, just like this. It's supposed to be a little more drivable. We're probably going to upgrade to that in the near future.
Right?
Oh, no. I'm reading the books. Sorry.
But we're going to burn up what we have now. So in addition to clutch stuff, I've been a little bit distracted lately. House stuff has to happen. You know, you can't just do race cars all the time. There's other things. House stuff has to happen. I had a birthday, and that birthday meant I got a present, and I went kind of nuts with it. So this was my birthday present from Kate. This is a Tamiya lunchbox. I had a lunchbox when I was a kid. I remember it was blue for some reason, so I painted it blue again. And of course, I had to rep one of my bands. You guys hear Subtastics, my punk band, in the opening for this, but I also have another band called Beach Creeper. We're a surf band about monsters and cryptids and that kind of thing. So I thought it made perfect sense. I had to go put a little license plate on and everything, and it didn't have a battery in it, but I put headlights in it. I went too far. So I should have been working on this, but instead I was working on this. But now I can get back to working on this. So let me show you what we're going to do to this today to get ready for the next event. So here is the very next thing we're doing in the car, and it is a fire system. It is not required for SCCA solo racing to have a fire system in a car, but we know that fire's bad, and we don't want to get hurt, and I've got a lot of time and some money in that car, which I now officially own, which I won't talk about that, never mind. But I have a lot of time and a lot of money in that car, and I like my skin, so this car has to have ballast anyway to race at the proper weight. And so I'm a firm believer of if you need ballast, you might as well make this functional ballast. So this is a fire system from ESSfire.com. I bought it secondhand. I bought it used. Let me make sure I got the name right. That says Race Day Safety. Okay, so maybe from Race Day. I think it's anyway. So, like I said, I bought this used, and the guy who sold it to me took some of the tubing out of his car and everything. It's great, awesome. But I reached out to the company because I need some more line, and Race Day Safety, I guess is who I got it from. They were super helpful, super nice. They didn't care that I bought it used. They just were happy someone was using their products. So what is particularly neat about this system is it's field serviceable, which is why I got it super cheap. I guess they don't allow it in wheel-to-wheel racing anymore. But the idea is they sell a refill kit for $50, and you fill this tank full of foam and water, and then this is a CO2 cartridge, like for a paintball gun or something like that. And when you pull the fire cable over there, it punctures that. Air goes into this tank, pushes it out those nozzles, through those tubes, and it's, I believe, an aqueous foam that puts the fire out and hoses off easily, and yeah, you're ready to go. So really, this is just a thing I've been wanting to do for a long time, because I would really hate for this car to catch fire, and I would hate to be burned, and finally pull the trigger on it. So we're gonna mount this up and see where we're at. All right, we officially have all the lines run tight in. So we got this one running back, and it sprays right there, and that gets the fuel cell battery whole back area. And we've got two running forward. All right, they follow the frame rail, run along into the car here, attached to the roll cage. There's the sprayer for the driver and the feet. And then we've got two nozzles in place, one here on that side, one here on this side, so the engine bay is covered. Just waiting on a bracket for the pull cable, and that'll be done. All right, so the last piece I needed finally came in, which was this little bracket right here. That's gonna hold the fire pull handle to the roll cage. I can reach it over my shoulder. Someone outside the car can reach it. It runs back along the window, which it's not great, but runs down in, loops around, connects to our fire system. So with that bit's done. It also means I get to do this, which is just so satisfying. Oh geez. Okay, now I'm gonna wash my hands. So basically, after going back and forth and not feeling great about putting a used clutch in the car and thinking about the rest of the season, we said screw it. We ordered up a new clutch. So this one should drive a little bit better because it's a little bit bigger, which make it a little easier to slip. I just think it's a better choice all around. So I'm going to spare you that, but that clutch will be in next time this car runs. I figured since I'm not going to show you it going in, at least take a second, like take it all in because it's pretty. So here's the outside. Let's pull the this cover off and see what we've got. All right, so I'm not going to take it much further apart, but you can start to see what we've got going on here. I want to mark all these. Give me one sec. All right, sorry, just wanted to make a little paint mark because I think these are all balanced to each other, so just playing it safe. So there's that. It's top. Take this this ring off here. Okay, so there's our clutch disc and our friction surface. So this just came off the top and I just flipped it over. But we can see how it's all lined up, good to go. And that's what it looks like. Let's go all the way to the bottom. All right, and here's the side that mounts to the flywheel, or in our case, a flex plate. So again, that's like a final friction surface. So we'll get this new sucker back in the car and be ready for the next event. I realized as I was editing this, I forgot to film an outro for this video. But I also want to highlight something that happened. Unfortunately, Mikey and Greg were taking Boo up to Central Pennsylvania region, and a truck following them lost their brakes, and this was the result. So that sucks. They're currently in the process of evaluating the damage. They're not sure if Boo's going to be ready for nationals or not, but we'll see. But speaking of getting ready for nationals, we're doing the clutch on the Camaro this weekend, so hopefully that's done. Good to go. Looking at the calendar, because of band obligations and travel and life in general, I have four events until SEC Solo Nationals. So we're going to get the car together. We're going to get it worked out. We're going to get it dialed in. We're going to get me dialed in. Hopefully all in time for that. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you in the next one.